It definitely has. I'm just blessed to be here. I'm blessed for the opportunities that they give me. So everything's easy and just smooth rolling for me.
What sold you on
Automatically, the atmosphere, just walking into the building. The young coaches on the offensive staff, Coach Lindsey, what he has, what he does with his backs, it just was a no-brainer for me.
How do you describe yourself as a running back, and what do you feel like the next steps for you are at the position, given you played so much college football?
Definitely. I say that I showed a lot of my power. I would say a little bit of speed, but I feel like coming here is going to open up my game to going into the route game as well. So just amplifying that role in the pass game would be something that I want to display and put on tape.
Any early impressions of Pitt's offense just throughout the recruiting process, and just how you think you'll fit into the scheme here?
Automatically, just how they use their backs. It's a key. They're key in the offense, and I just finding a school that depends on depends on the back but likes to use the back in all types of ways was something that drew my attention.
What have you learned so far about Bootsy Turner? What's it just been like working with him?
He's a down-to-earth guy. Just off the conversations we had, he looks out for me just in the sense of learning the plays. But just even watching him run, you can tell he's explosive, and I can just tell that, even with the backs in the room, we can all just, feed off of each other.
When you were looking at schools, how much did an experienced quarterback or a young quarterback with that type of first season play into your decision too?
I actually didn't play much into it. Coming here, I found out that Mason was a true freshman last year. But just knowing that he's a young guy and he's ready to roll is really exciting to hear and see.
For you, you started your career in the SEC and you had to kind of work your way back up. Is it something you wanted to do to get back to this level?
100%. Leaving Kentucky, taking the journey that I had to take. Blessed with the journey that I was given, but. Being here for my last season is definitely all praise to God.
How unique is Cade?
Say it again.
How unique is Cade and his energy and some of the ways he works?
My bad. Say it again. I'm sorry.
With offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
What's unique? What do you find unique about him? He seems to be a guy with a lot of high energy. What's it been like early on working with him?
Just like you said, high energy. Having an offensive coordinator that just, is pumped up every single day, ready to go. He fires you up to want to get out there and, show out. So that's something that I loved about him as well.
What are some of the expectations you have for yourself this spring or even going this season?
Just go to work every single day. Take every day by day. Don't try to look too forward and don't try to look, over the path into the future and everything like that. Just take every day, day by day, and just get 1% better.
You've only been here for roughly a month, but you're in a room with a lot of young guys. Just as an older guy, how have you been trying to lead in that room?
Just more so, I say by example. Walk in, just be a pro. And Coach Lamar, he has a great job with that. To expressing that to the other backs is just being a pro. But all them guys in there, they might be young, but they also give off that pro mentality. So it's not too much hard to bring them along because they're already along by Coach Lindsey's help.
How do you reflect on last season with Western Kentucky, whether it's what you did on the field, off the field, just what did that year mean and do for you?
It was a great year for me. I don't too much want to look in the past anymore because I'm just blessed to be here at Pitt.
When you first committed, we talked on the phone, and you said something. One of the things they sold you on is they needed a big back, but you're also a running back that can do everything. Can you kind of get the sense that the full offense is yours, and you can just go out there and kind of mix and match with Lucy?
Definitely, I feel like we can feed off of each other, just like all those other backs. We can all feed off of each other, just seeing them out there and doing PRPs and everything. But just being able to capitalize on the things that I can do and improve at them is going to be something that I'm going to be shooting for.
Anything else?
Four-star our conference offer. What has the past year been like for you as you kind of broke out and became a bigger time group?
Truly, I think it's been a blessing, honestly. Just everything that's come to me in the past year, all the opportunities I've gotten. I really grew in my body last year, so I think that's what gave me the opportunities that I got.
When you say growing in your body, do you feel weird being like 6'6" now? Do you feel like you have control over it all?
feel like I can control it now. When I was younger, I couldn't really. I was just clumsy, so.
Right before you got here and enrolled here, you played in the Navy All-American Bowl. What was that experience like for you, just playing on that type of stage?
It was really cool. You know, getting to play against all 5 stars and 4 stars, you know, all around the field. It was a really cool opportunity, and the speed of the game, I think, will help me out in the long run, so.
Corey, how's the transition been like, and how difficult was it to kind of give up basketball or potentially baseball for?
I miss it. You know, you go like watch a basketball game, and it's like I could be doing that right now. So, I mean, you get jealous sometimes, but there's a bigger goal that I have for myself, so I kind of get over it.
How much do you think, even what you've learned to this point, is going to help you heading into that first season?
I didn't realize how helpful it is to come early. But when they explain it, how much time we get to learn the offense and like being here, like and learning it, I've realized that like I'm really happy I came early, because there's no way I could have done this in a summer and then went out there and played or had a chance to.
What's it like to have someone like Mason in your room who just did this 1 year ago, came early, kind of got a head start? How's he been just kind of learning under him?
He helps us out a lot. He teaches a lot, like the way he looks at maybe like route concepts. You know, he explains it like how we would see it, not how like an older or a coach would see it, and he explains it to something we understand.
If I come back to Joe's question, I mean, when did you realize that football would be wanted to kind of pursue full time and give up baseball and basketball?
Football was my main sport growing up, the whole time. It's always what I wanted to play. I kind of just played baseball and basketball just to stay in it, but then I got good at those too, so at the end it was kind of a hard decision to make, but at the end of the day, I've always wanted to play football.
What kind of relationship did you form with K. Bell on the recruiting trail leading up to getting here to Pitt, and what's it been like so far, just getting down to work with him here?
A real honest relationship, honestly, and that's really the reason I came here. He always told me the truth from day one, and that's what I've always liked about him. So, and still when I got here, he's straight up to the point all the time, just tells you where you're at and what you need to do, and I think that's what helps me the most.
You're pretty far from home, coming from Texas, but Angelo's also here with you. What's just that connection been like so far?
I don't know. We hang out a lot off the field, so I mean, it's helpful, I guess. So you always got someone to talk to. Same with Wyatt. You know, he came from Texas too. We all have the connections, so it's helped a little bit.
Did you know or hear about Angelo at all, or just like, growing up in Texas?
Yeah, of course. You know, social media is big now, so you know, one player from Texas, you just hear about each other, and all over the rankings and stuff, you see each other, you know of each other.
You talked about Coach Bell's transparency. I mean, in recruiting these days, usually there's only one quarterback in a class. What was kind of the message that you and Angelo would both be quarterbacks in the same recruiting class?
He kind of told us that we'd come in and weren't going to take anybody from the portal, and we were going to have to compete for, you know, just anything. But I've always looked at it like you're going to have to come and compete no matter what, no matter who it is, because they're either going to bring a kid from the portal or someone from high school. So, and when we first got here, didn't expect all the quarterbacks to jump in the portal. So, and honestly, it's kind of helped us out taking 2 quarterbacks.
In your first few months here, what are you just trying to work on with your gym?
Just learn the offense and the speed of the game, get used to it, because it's a lot quicker than high school. So those 2 things will probably be biggest adjustments to help me out.
What do you feel like are your biggest strengths?
Probably just arm strength. You know, I could be late with the ball, but sometimes still get it there. I think that helps me out a lot with process and I don't know, mentally, I guess. You know, this college is way different, but you know, and I think being mentally sharp would help out a lot.
Like working with some of the weapons it has, you know, you have Lucy Turner and there's some of the other guys to like working with them.
I mean, it's just get them the ball and let them go to work. Yeah, I mean, that's our job, is facilitate and get the athletes the ball.
You know, when you committed to Pitt, I mean, you visited here in the summer. It was probably a nice weekend. Now you got a few months of a Pittsburgh winter. What's it been like just adjusting to that part of it?
I don't leave the house very much unless I have to. It's pretty cold, so unless I have to, I stay inside. But, you know, it's probably 3 layers of clothes when I go outside. I actually got to wear shorts yesterday because it felt good, but.
Anything else?
Thanks, Corey. Similar question that I asked to Corey. I mean, what's it just been like coming here with him, and why some guys from Texas having those maybe not so familiar faces, but guys from the same area to come up here?
Yeah, I mean, we're a long ways away from home, but we still got our Texas roots together. I mean, we hang out all the time. Wyatt's my roommate. Corey comes down all the time, but, you know, it's fun to just sit there and just, you know, hang out with some guys that you're familiar with. I mean, I didn't really talk to Corey, but I knew him from obviously social media and Wyatt. I talked to him on my official visit, so we kind of built that friendship, and, you know, it's really fun just hanging out with the Texas boys, I guess you can call it. But, you know, I mean, I'm just here to just get better, do whatever I can do to, you know, excel at that next level. And I mean, we came here early for a reason, and we're gonna make the most of it.
How would you describe Texas football, and maybe how did it prepare you for college football so far?
Yeah, I mean, I believe Texas high school football is the best in the country. I mean, Holden's going to think otherwise. But, you know, I came from South Lake Carroll, so pretty prominent school. I mean, obviously produced some great pros and some great college players. So, I mean, we play the best competition in the country, really. And, you know, going against guys that are probably going to start at the Division I level, I mean, it's a big ask. I mean, you got a lot to deal with on your plate. You got dudes out there on the perimeter, but I believe it's the best high school football in the country, and it will help you in the future.
Being as productive as you were in high school, won as much as you were, you weren't this huge recruiter. Did you carry kind of a chip on your shoulder saying, I did this at the highest level of high school football?
I mean, I think everybody's got to carry a chip on their shoulder. I mean, that's kind of what drives you. That's kind of what excels you to be great. And, I mean, you look at the great ones like, I mean, shoot, you think Dan Marino didn't have a chip on his shoulder coming in here? I mean, you got to have that each and every day, and that's what's going to help you strive. But I didn't really make that my own. I kind of just carry my own chip around my shoulder. That's just kind of who I am, how I was raised, and that's just kind of what it is.
Why was it so important to get here early and forego the rest of your senior year?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like getting here early, learning the offense, learning the playbook. I mean, it's not easy. This is a college-level playbook, and this 6 months that we get above everybody else, it's huge. I mean, you can ask Corey, you can ask Holden. I mean, Holden's been doing it for a long time. So, I mean, you'll talk to him later, but I was talking to him about how he learned different offense every year, and that 6 month gap is massive. I mean, you got guys coming in the summer, but you're already 6 months ahead, especially with you're working with receivers and kind of route depth and kind of knowing what the coaches want. I mean, that's huge. But I mean, I made my decision, and I'm very happy I did.
What's the transition been like from Kate Bell, the recruiter, to Kate Bell, your coach?
You know, honestly, nothing really changed. He was kind of always just kind of there. He kind of knew what to expect when you got here. He was very honest and open about everything, and that's really the big reason why I came here, because he took a chance on me, and, you know, I really loved the offense. I fell in love with it really early. I mean, I think I committed this time last year, and, I mean, who doesn't want to play in this type of offense? It's fast tempo, fast paced. I mean, you love to play in it. You love to be a distributor of the ball, and I mean, that's really the whole reason I'm here.
You mentioned what you committed a long time ago, and Corey joins the class. What was your reaction to another quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Bell told me from the start, knowing the portal, I mean, it's crazy nowadays, so they didn't know if they were going to have a couple guys hit the portal, which they did, and he kind of told me from the start that there was a chance they would always take two quarterbacks, and I mean, who doesn't want? I mean, you come here to compete anyway, so I mean, that wasn't my factor. If another guy committed, I was going to leave. That was never that, because I mean, you want to compete, you want the quarterback room to be the best it can be, because I mean, you never know when someone goes down and another guy comes up. So why don't you want your quarterback room to be the best it can be?
Angelo, are you that competitive in everything?
I try to be. I mean, playing video games or playing basketball, pickup. I mean, you got to compete in everything you do. I mean, that's kind of just some people got it, some people don't. But I mean, I love to compete. I think everybody on this team loves to compete. That's what's gonna make us so great this year.
What was it like knowing that you had committed to watching what Mason did last year?
Yeah, I mean, Mason's a great player. I mean, he's an even better person. Definitely someone you can learn from. I mean, in the film room, kind of how he just goes to the little details of everything. That's someone that's obviously done it at the highest level, and he's still learning and he's still improving, and we're kind of under his wing a little bit and kind of just learning from him each and every day, and just kind of how he does things and the intent and the level of focus that he has. I mean, it's awesome to see, and you can learn a lot from it.
I mean, I know like practice hasn't started yet, but I'm sure some of the guys in your class you're aware of, some of the receivers you're throwing with. I mean, what do you see from those guys just even early on?
Yeah, I mean, the receivers in our class, there's some dudes. There's some fast receivers out there. But, just get them the ball in space, let them go to work. We trust them. They can trust us. That's really just the connection, the quarterback-receiver connection. I mean, you got to have it. You need it. It starts right now. I mean, we're months away from game day, so I'm not even focused on who we play first. We got to win. We got to win February. We got to win March to win games and come late August.
What was it like playing for Riley Dodge in high school? Just how much did he kind of impact you along your journey?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Dodge, he's obviously at SMU right now. I mean, he's a phenomenal coach. I learned a lot from him, kind of just reading defenses and concepts and all that type of stuff. But really just that leadership role, that was kind of the biggest thing I learned from him over the years, was just kind of how to be a leader and how to lead others, because everybody's different. So you got to lead everybody a little bit differently. That's something I really learned from him. But, I mean, he's at SMU right now, so hopefully we'll see them in the ACC championship.
You left South Lake Carroll as the high school's all-time leading passer. I think Coach Dodge previously held that record playing quarterback there in the mid-2000s. Just, was that at all like a unique moment, just when you did get the record, just to take it from your coach?
You know, he didn't really want to bring that up, that I broke his record, but I think another coach did, and, I mean, it was all love. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't be where I'm at today without him. I mean, he put me in situations to win ball games, and we made the most of it. But I'm thankful for every moment I had at South Lake. But now all my focus is on Pitt football.
Angelo, just 6 foot. Some people say you're not big enough to play quarterback. How would you say to those detractors?
Yeah, I mean, I've been hearing that my whole life. So just keeping the haters hating and keep that chip on my shoulder, like I talked about. That just, it builds every day, every month, every year. But that's what strives you to be great. I mean, they don't do what we do, so you just come in and keep working, and we'll see what happens.
Anything else?
All good.
Thank y'all for being here.
Holden, I guess, what was the message to you in the recruiting process when a team has a returning quarterback and they have some freshmen coming in? What was kind of the role you were sold on?
Sure, yeah. Like you said, obviously Mason is the guy coming back, and he's like Angelo said, he's an unbelievable player, unbelievable person. But kind of the message was, obviously come in and push him to be the best that he can be. So going into year 5 for me, it's kind of crazy to think about. But being an older guy and knowing he's a younger guy who's had a lot of success and has a tremendous amount of upside. I saw a great opportunity to come in and really just work with him and all the other guys as well. And kind of mentor them, give them some wisdom, things of that nature. So that really is one of the reasons that I came here, and so I'm super excited to continue building that relationship with him, giving him some wisdom and things that I've experienced in my past in big games. So that was really the message and what I look forward to helping him with this year.
Well, you mentioned it there, but you got 2 guys that were a couple months ago were in high school. What's it like working with guys with that energy, and does that kind of keep you like their enthusiasm kind of keep you going?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I look back and think about it kind of in reflection. This is my last year of college football. It's kind of crazy to think about. It flies by. These guys, I mean, they're just out of high school, and I remember those days like they were yesterday. So I remember my first walk through, and I'm sure these guys can attest the same way. Like it's a different pace, and it really is different, especially at this level. So kind of as you mentioned, being able to have these guys, throughout the whole team, it's kind of a young team. So having the guys with super big energy and things of that nature, really feeds into me as well. And obviously, I've been around the game a long time, but I've been part of a lot of older teams, so being a part of a younger team is different for me, and I'm loving it so far. Having these guys who they're always wanting to be up here working and watching film and just getting better. Really, I mean, it's tremendous, and I think that's really going to pay off. Come fall.
What are some of those pearls of wisdom, pieces of advice that you try to share with them?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we had our mentorship meetings this morning, excuse me, and kind of what I told those guys is really just like I said. I mean, it flies by. So I'm like I said, going into year 5. So just coming in, control what you can control is really the biggest thing. So coming in with a smile on your face and just working as hard as you can. I mean, it's crazy to think about. Now 5 years ago, I was like, oh man, I got so much time. Like maybe I can just take a rep off here, whatever it is. So just attacking each and every day with a positive attitude and really just enjoy the moments. I mean, it's an incredibly high stress environment around here, like around any college, any professional sports, anything. So, being able to just take a step back and being able to enjoy the moments with your brothers, I think is really super important and something that I've, maybe not necessarily focused on a ton early in my career, but as I've matured, I've really learned. And so that's kind of something that I've tried to pass along.
What have 4 years taught you about the quarterback position,
Sure.
how to go about it, the film room, so on and so forth? Just how do you feel like you've grown as a college player?
Yeah, no, I think I've grown tremendously. Obviously I wish I could have played more in the past and whatnot, but obviously that's kind of out of my control now, obviously. So in terms of growing, I mean, like you said, just in the film room, watching guys that really know what they're looking for. I mean, I've had a tremendous amount of coaches that have, been able to pour into me. So that's really where I give the credit to, is just having coaches that really, having that amount of coaches that have different perspectives. So I've had coaches who we've talked only about coverages, and then we've watched a ton of film on that. So kind of for me, just, looking at my past and, the quarterbacks that I've been with and the coaches that I've been with, and, kind of dissecting, like, all right, what works and what doesn't work, and when it comes to watching film or reading defenses or learning a new playbook. I've had to learn a new playbook every year I've been in college, so kind of going back and thinking, like, all right, like, when I watch film this way, looking at the coverage first or whatever it may be, this works versus the vice versa. So that's kind of, I think, where I've grown, and really not try to minimize, the inefficiency, but just being as most efficient as I can be. Obviously, as a graduate now, I get to spend as much time as possible up here, so being able to learn the playbook and, the teams we're going to play. And kind of going into year 5 knowing how to do that, better at least, I'm very thrilled to be able to do that, and lucky.
Holden, roughly 20 passing attempts across 4 years for you. How would you just evaluate your game action, and what did you learn from those opportunities?
Sure, yeah. I mean, I've been extremely blessed to be able to play in, some big-time environments, and I thank the Lord every day for that. So, being able to just take that and, obviously, I wish I could have played better. Obviously, we always do. So, what I would take from that is just kind of looking at that and being like, all right, well, what could I have done better, or how could I have, handled the situation better, maybe taking a deep breath. So that's kind of how I would view that. And then just, being able to just get the open guys the ball. That's really the main thing. So being able to know the system is obviously number one, and then, just getting the guys the ball and everything like that. So obviously we can't do our job without the O-line, the receivers and running backs, and obviously the coaches as well.
What type of chip on your shoulder does that give you, just from your past experience, playing experiences, maybe not going the way you maybe wanted it to?
Sure, yeah. I mean, obviously I, came into college wanting to play and still want to play. So there's obviously that chip on my shoulder that kind of drives me every day as well, So not getting, as many opportunities maybe in the past kind of drives me forward to be like, okay, like there's still another year left, So maybe this year will be a good year. I'm going to put everything I have into it this year. So whether that's me playing or whoever is playing, I'm going to pour into whoever it is playing, and I'm going to give it my all for sure.
Well, you said you still want to play, and that's still the goal. And I mean this in a positive way. You sound like a coach up there. Like, is this experience is something that you're thinking down the line of, like, hey, I'm gathering information? That's something you might want to do?
It's definitely a possibility. I don't know for sure what the future holds, but definitely I've enjoyed kind of taking a step back this year and kind of reflecting on, my past, kind of how we've mentioned, and really just thinking like, okay, we got a bunch of young guys, like how can I pour my wisdom and experience into them? So whether that's coaching or just maybe this year, mentoring them and just putting everybody in the best situation that I can, from my experience. Obviously the coaches have, a lot more experience than I do, and so I'm learning every day from them as well, So whether that's coaching or not, obviously I want to be a coach on the field as a player. I think that's what we all strive for. So that's kind of how I view it. Especially as the quarterback, we have to know what everybody does and what the defense does as well. So being able to, coach the receivers, running backs, O-line, get them in the right protection, things of that nature, and just kind of explain why. I think that's a big key. Obviously, it's big to know it, but explain to the receivers, O-line, if they have the question, why are we doing something? I think is huge and something else that I've learned as well. Yeah, a little bit. Me and Nate, have a good relationship. Obviously, I was with him for a year, so it's kind of funny that we kind of switched roles in a sense. But yeah, he told me a little bit about it. Obviously, he played under Coach Bell, threw for 350 under Clemson, so that was obviously, big time for him. And Nate's an unbelievable man. I mean, he's awesome. I love Nate to death. Appreciate my time with him for sure. And we talked a little bit when I came here, and he was just like, man, you're gonna love it. Coach Bell and all the coaches, really the people around here. It's very people oriented and very relationship oriented. So Nate's awesome. I can't thank my time enough with him. And I appreciate his wisdom as well for what he taught me and things of that nature. And he, like I said, just couldn't say enough good things about Pitt.
What have you liked about Pittsburgh since you've been here?
I'm sorry?
What have you liked about being in Pittsburgh since you've been here?
Well, I think an easier way to answer that is what have I not liked. But what I have not liked is the cold, obviously, from Savannah, Georgia. I'm used to the sunny, warm weather. But no, Pittsburgh's been awesome. I've never really lived in a big city, so being able to kind of get that different experience. So obviously going into my last year, it's kind of cool, living in a big city. Most people out of college sometimes at least go to a big city and live for a few years. So maybe, down the road, this summer or something, I'll be able to take an internship and kind of really get the full, city experience. So that's something I've liked for sure.
All good.
Thank you.